What it do, ski YouTube? And I know before we get into it, it's been a while. I think the last time we got a vid out was like a month ago, and I appreciate all the DMs. I've been good. I have my life alert on. I didn't fall anywhere, and I did not disappear into an abyss. I'm back with another review. And as per usual, it's gonna be some fire sneakers that you can probably get your hands on if you're watching this video now. So as you can imagine, the 2020 Dunk hype was crazy, and Nike is not holding any punches. For 2021, there's a bunch of releases this month alone. So I'm glad today I get to go over the latest drop in the UNLV colorway. And for those who don't know, that's the University of Nevada in Las Vegas, the Running Rebels. They had a great run in the 80s. And with that being said, they got commemorated in a shoe, and that's the shoe I want to go over today, the Nike Dunk Low in the UNLV colorway. Let's get it. So if you've been watching the videos on the channel for a while, you can tend to notice a trend with the Nike Dunk boxes. Unless it's a special collaboration or a special release, all the boxes usually tend to come in this regular red box with the white font. And this is no exception because it is one of the more wider released dunks. And the difference between this dunk right here in this box and the ones that were released in the latest videos are the SP branding. So this is just a general release dunk. You can get it pretty much anywhere. Normal's gonna be releasing it sooner than you think, so make sure to follow them on Instagram and Twitter and all that jazz. But let's look at the features. So typical white paper, as you can see. And in terms of the colors, not something you expect to see at all. It is a muted gray and a red. These are pretty sick, super understated. I don't have that many red shoes in my wardrobe myself, so it's definitely a good addition. But let's get into the details because there's a couple of things I want to go over specifically comparing these dunks here to the releases of last year. So when it comes to the details, the reason why this colorway was selected is because of the legendary run by the Las Vegas Running Rebels in the 1980s. This shoe initially came out in 1985 as Nike's Be True to Your School pack in a Nike Dunk High iteration with a couple of other shoes such as Michigan and a couple of things you've seen in the past couple of months. So with that being said, it's been retroed a couple of times. The most recent release actually was an off-white collaboration in these exact same colors with a Virgil Abloh touch on them. So Nike saw the popularity in that, and they opted to bring it back as a general release, which I do tend to love. Unfortunately, I did not have that specific version of the off-white dunk. I do have the Michigan colorway, and the materials on that are premium. I do want to touch base on the materials of this shoe specifically because I know with the new year comes new kind of expectations for a shoe. So let's see how these hold up against those. So in terms of the nitty-gritty details, it is a Nike Dunk Low, so it's really simplicity at its finest, but I do want to take a closer look. So off the first glance, you can see that it has that soft gray upper in the smooth leather, accented by that varsity red hits on the swoosh, as well as the tongue and the outsole as well. So if we're gonna break it down, let's start with the toe box. They opted to actually use a super smooth leather throughout the whole shoe. I know on previous iterations of the Dunk, the leather was definitely more supple, but I can say off first glance, the leather on this just seems pretty like plasticky, if that's a word. I think that has to do a little bit with the amount of releases related to this dunk. Some of the past releases of the dunks have been a lot more limited, but for this, it's gonna be one of the largest stock levels, which I can say is good if you want it, obviously. But with that comes a kind of a lack in quality. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that if you're expecting a super high quality shoe in this release, you may be disappointed. But if you like the colors red, gray, or even the UNLV kind of backdrop in terms of a university, this is gonna be a shoe for you. It's still a Nike Dunk. It's still gonna sell out, let's be honest here. But just in terms of the materials off the first glance, it is kind of off-putting, but obviously I'm still gonna get them because this is a 10.5 and you know me, I'm gonna buy the shoes regardless. But just something to keep in mind before you pick them up. So moving to the midsole, they opted for the all-white midsole, which is a good contrast to the University Red outsole. And then on the tongue, I like on the Nike Dunk Lows, they actually opt for this nylon tongue that's super thin. So they actually managed to keep the same type of technology from the 1985 iteration or the 2003 iteration as well in terms of that. So Nike Dunks are what they are. They're decently comfortable. It's not gonna be anything new age or next level technology, but in terms of wearability, they definitely did the job. And moving on from the tongue, there's also a gray tongue tag with the red Nike hit in the middle of that. And on the insole, it's also gray, but they opted to give a orange Nike hit on the insole, so it's a good contrast as well. Moving on to the laces, this is the one thing I do like about the Dunks. Sometimes they opt to give you kind of like that elasticy lace or a cotton lace. For this lace, it actually has a little bit of stretch, and this shoe only comes with one lacing option actually, which is this University Red. I don't know if I'd feel it that much if it came with the gray, just because it would mute it out so much. So I'm gonna probably keep my red laces in here, or if I can find a pair of sail laces from a different dunk I have in the past, might slop them in there, and it's gonna give you that OG look, which I love. And you guys probably love too. And other than that, just finishing off on the shoe, on the heel tab, they actually opted to hit the Nike branding as well, with the red heel counter and the gray Nike font. It's always a soft gray, so the camera might pick this up. It's really like a muted gray. It's not gonna be too saturated, so it's gonna go with a lot of fits. And that's really about it. There's not that many details to go over in this shoe. Iconic red swoosh. There's the alternate paneling around the shoe. The final thing I wanted to talk about actually was the quality and the sizing, which I was alluding to in the start of this video. So in terms of quality, off first glance, you can't really tell, but it's not that plush in terms of leather. It's not that supple. It is more of a plasticky feel, and I've noticed that lately with the Dunk iterations in terms of being generally widespread. It's gonna lack in quality a little bit. So I would give it a pass in terms of wearability, but you're not gonna be blown out the water by any means. I'm just being honest with you, and I'm looking out for your best interest. But if you are interested at all remotely, you gotta cop these. They're gonna sell out. They're a Nike Dunk. The Dunk hype is still here and still alive. They're gonna be dropping very, very soon, so keep that in mind. In terms of sizing, I'm a true US 10.5 men's in all shoes. For these, I opted for the 10.5 men's as well. I would say just because of the thinness of the material, you can definitely get away with going a half size up if you need to, or if you have a wide foot. But if you have a narrow foot such as myself, you should be good staying your true size. In terms of pricing, they do retail for $135 Canadian, which I think is a fair price for what you're getting for. And resale shouldn't be too crazy because there's been so many other Dunk iterations. This kind of falls on the latter half of them in terms of popularity. But if you like the UNLV colorway, this is a must cop shoe. And really that's it in terms of the shoe. So let me know what you think. I know this is the first taste of a Dunk iteration you've seen on this channel. I'm really interested to see if you think the Dunk hype is still alive and strong, or is this just a big swing and a miss? Let me know in the comments below as per usual, and don't hold back. I love the honesty and we love to see that, obviously. But more importantly, if you want to stay in tune with this release and everything else coming up this month or in the future, make sure to follow Normal on all social media channels, whether that's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and obviously slap that like button on YouTube because you're gonna find me here on the regular. As always, appreciate the love and support. It's your boy, Minor Malcolm, checking in, and now I'm checking out because it's cold outside. I need to put my coat back on. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Deuces.